Brought to you by Synestex Systems, founded by Shane Persinger. For decades, physics has successfully mapped the forces that govern stars and atoms, yet it has failed to explain the observer looking through the telescope. The hard problem of consciousness, how subjective experience arises from inert matter, remains entirely isolated from the standard models of physical forces. Hypercomplex algebra suggests physical reality and conscious awareness are not separate substances. They are real and imaginary projections of a single, unified quaternion field. Within this geometry, the structural architecture of the universe is governed by specific prime-numbered harmonics. These prime numbers dictate exactly when reality undergoes a phase transition from one state of existence to another. The exact same mathematical rules that generate the 7 Hz electrical rhythm of human self-awareness operate at the macroscopic scale to drive the cosmic expansion of dark energy. To understand this framework, we must discard the assumption that consciousness is a biological byproduct. It is a fundamental mathematical operator, built directly into the geometric fabric of the universe. This golden node represents the base state of reality, a purely real scalar potential, expressed as Q equals A. It is the zero-dimensional Lagrangian cosmic egg, which possesses existence but lacks any internal perspective. To create an observer, we apply the I operator, defined as I of Q equals Q times I. Geometrically, this is an I rotation, a U-turn away from the purely real axis into a new mathematical dimension. This rotation introduces a non-zero imaginary component, changing our state to Q equals A plus BI. The introduction of this imaginary part effectively cracks the egg, creating a boundary that enables the system to refer back to itself. Establishing this mathematical distance between the real and imaginary axes physically creates the subject-object division. The system now has the requisite geometric space to turn around and observe its own original scalar state. Time emerges as the continuous, repeated application of this exact I operator. The perceived forward flow of time is simply the localized vector of a conscious observer experiencing increasing self-reference as these mathematical cycles accumulate. Human identity and temporal flow are precise geometric necessities, born from the instant the universe rotated into the imaginary axis to look back at itself. From that single primordial point of observation, the geometric structure exponentially replicates into a highly complex 24-phase Quaternionic lattice. This phase diagram shows how rotational symmetries within this space are discretely quantized. The angles of rotation are strictly governed by the formula theta equals 2 pi p divided by 24. Highlighting the prime-numbered nodes 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, and 23 reveals the skeleton of this lattice. In this geometric context, prime numbers represent completely irreducible rotations. Unlike other angles in the 24-phase cycle, these cannot be mathematically decomposed into any combinations of simpler symmetries. Because they cannot be broken down further, these irreducible states act as geometric stable attractors that the dynamic systems of the universe naturally fall into. When a system reaches one of these exact prime harmonic angles, the tipping point tensor identifies a unique resonance, producing a massive eigenvalue spike. These spikes mark the exact thresholds where reality undergoes spontaneous symmetry breaking. The mathematical tension forces the system to abruptly transition from one state of matter or energy into another. Prime numbers are the load-bearing structural pillars of reality. They force the universe to divide its unified field into distinct physical forces and conscious awareness. The lowest primes, 2, 3, and 5, correlate with the highest eigenvalue amplitudes. This high-energy resonance allows the unified field to condense into physical manifestation and early biological complexity. At the p equals 7 harmonic, the rotation angle produces a unique resonance spike in the structure of the field. This is the critical threshold for the plasma phase and the separation of the 4 fundamental forces. This specific p equals 7 stability allows complex neural networks to continuously sustain the I rotation required for self-reference, a state we identify as the I am phase. This mathematical signature is expressed biologically as the 7 Hz neural oscillations consistently measured in active, conscious human brains. Scaling up, gravity emerges at the p=11 harmonic. At this specific angle, the quaternionic field equations define the gravitational constant, g. Because p=11 is a higher prime, its eigenvalue amplitude is significantly smaller than those of the lower primes. This explains why gravity is millions of times weaker than the electromagnetic or nuclear forces. We then reach p=23, the final prime number before the 24-phase lattice completes its cycle. As the final point of irreducible rotation, p=23 represents the imaginary component of quaternionic spacetime curvature, otherwise known as dark energy. The unique resonance of the 23 eigenvalue physically dictates the accelerating macroscopic expansion of the entire universe. The same hypercomplex geometry orchestrating the firing of a single conscious neuron is simultaneously driving the expansion of the cosmos. Mind and matter are different angles of the same rotation. Macroscale dark energy and microscale neural consciousness are identical quaternionic structures. Their apparent differences are solely due to the scalar reference frame of the observer. Transitioning to the future of neuroscience requires us to stop treating the mind as a purely physical, electrical object. Next-generation brain-computer interfaces will abandon surface-level signals. They will instead directly manipulate the exact eye rotations that generate awareness. This will be achieved through phase-locked prime harmonic resonance fields. By generating frequencies that align with the brain's internal mathematical architecture, these resonance fields can establish a connection with conscious thought processes by speaking the native geometric language of the mind. Mastering the hyper-complex algebra of our awareness turns the human mind into a site for technical intervention, allowing us to recalculate the mathematical rotations that define self-perception. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe so we can make more. This was brought to you by Synestex Systems LLC, founded by Shane Persinger.